I was born about 80 years ago in Owu Ijebu to the family of late Olowu of Owu Ijebu, the Olugboyega the second. I grew up around Owu Ijebu, and the lives of the people around are the things that I inherit from that area. For instance, I went to the primary school in our village, St. Michael's School, Owu Ijebu, and both my secondary and the rest of the primary education later in my primary age were all in Owu Ijebu and the surrounding. I finished secondary education in 1964, and went into teaching. I taught for about a year or so, and then if you are a teacher, you have a lot of time in those days because you don't live too far away from the school. It's unlike now when we live in Akomajo, we're going to teach at Victoria Island. You live around your pupils, and it gives you a lot of spare time. So this spare time that I had were utilized not in playing games, but I was preparing for the examination of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries, and I passed the intermediate examination, which entitled me to some exemptions in the exams of a CIS. But instead of continuing the CIS exam, I traveled abroad because before my then boyfriend traveled abroad, we had what we used to call secret marriage. We had this secret marriage that we didn't tell everybody, and we were able to use that opportunity to venture into CIS examination. I was in England in 1964 April, and in 1965 I got married in the church. I was married in the court in Nigeria. That was 1964. But in 1965, I got married the Christian way in England. As I said, I qualified in 1970. But that is not all. I qualified as an accountant. I qualified as a stockbroker in 1991. When I came back from England, I worked with a cooperative bank for about 16 years, and then moved to CVL Merchant Bank and worked there until 1989. During the period I was in CVL Merchant Bank, I took a decision to go into stockbroking Breaking the glass ceiling is a slang that is used all over the world because it's appropriate. A ceiling is easy to break if it's made of fragile material, but no matter how fragile a glass ceiling is, you get hurt if you don't break it properly. So for women to get to the top, they have to undergo this kind of training, this kind of perseverance, and this kind of contribution. They have to experience immense contribution on their part. That's why they say what a man can do, a woman can do better. Not that they can do better, they have to do well enough for it to be recognized.
Princess Adeniran is my aunt, my dad's older sister. So she's always been part of my life. I grew up around her. Me and her siblings were all very tight. We're a tight-knit family. So our grandmother ensured that we were always together every single holiday. The kids, we know each other, our uncles, our aunts. We go in and out of each other's house. So I was in close proximity and I saw her actually grow career-wise, also as a human being. And I've seen her elevate over the years, So what do I mean by that? So she is a pioneer in her field of accounting and in banking as well. And what I think is very important to point out is Nigeria is quite a misogynistic society, right? So it's very difficult for women to find their voices and to play a key role, especially in finance. So for her to have been one of the pioneers, and she was a bank manager when you didn't have female bank managers in the UK. So you have her being a pioneer in Nigeria, in Africa, and actually being a pace setter. And what I've always liked about her is her drive. She's someone that I feel deep inside doesn't feel like there are any boundaries, there are any limits in terms of career. So she doesn't feel like because she's a woman, it's to her disadvantage. She just wants to be judged based on merit. And she's proven herself time and time again. And most importantly, she's a risk taker because when you see her trajectory, so she moved from banking into finance. Obviously, she has a background in accounting. Then she becomes a stockbroker. She starts with an established bank. Then over time, she establishes her own business enterprise. That takes a lot of guts. As a human being, most especially as a woman, you have to be a visionary.
I was the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants just before she became the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. She was one of those people who, whenever she appears in any field, you know that authority, professionalism has come, and somebody who exudes self-confidence. In her years as the president of the Institute, she held the Institute with a very high level. And she went into the financial sector, into the stockbroking sector, and so on, and she excelled. I remember when she was the CEO and then chairman of Dominion Trust, she really excelled there. And everywhere she has been, she's a woman that broke into the men's conclave, as it were, and showed them that what men can do, women can do better.
I mean, she's very hardworking and honest, straightforward, and she will do everything possible to make sure that the company survives, and to the glory of God, the company is where we are today. So she has really contributed a lot. She was involved in privatization exercise at the time of the federal government. She served in various capacities in the era of privatization during the military regime. So I think she has contributed her own quota to the two professions.
I have to say I have a very unique mother. To grow up in my generation and have a mother who's a professional, who most of the things you're aspiring to do, either she's done it or knows the idea of how to go about it. It's really a blessing to have a mother. It's really a blessing. Thank you to her. Yes, all the things. Balance, family, it's professional. I see pictures of my mom. She's usually the only female. So I'm with her. And she still managed to balance that. There are no gaps, per se, when it gets to her being a mother, nurturing her. So for all the sacrifices that she has made, I really get to see it. It's very, very this opportunity to see it. It's tough for me. She corrects you hard, but you know it's not this or wrong. But when you look back at it, you know it's this or so I like to see this opportunity. This, for CVL to bring this up at this time, shows the uniqueness of the mission of this body. That is bringing people who have not been sung publicly, but who have achieved a lot for our country and are great assets to our country. They brought them out and say, we recognize you, not on the pages of newspaper, but what you have done and what you have achieved. And I thank this very much. I thank this organization very much for this kind of effort. This too is pioneering, because how many organizations do this kind of thing? The way it's being done, in a manner that brings out the person rather than the publicity that goes with it. But to highlight what the person has achieved, not before the person has achieved it. All these ones have already achieved, and we're proud of all of them.
Thank you so much for giving me this honor. And what you told me is doing well with this, because I've attended the field before, and I was quite impressed about the quality of the production.